Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is Mark with the Something Super Podcast, along with my co hosts.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Steve.
And I'm Jay.
And we thought we would do something a little bit different here today to start off the year. What we want to do is kind of take a look into some projects that we want to work on as a group and a collective, as a podcast, and individually within our own lives. So, Jay, new year, new you. What do you got in store? What are some of your plans?
You are apparently muted, Jay.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, Jay, if only you just listened to us and got an awesome mic like we got.
For real.
Don't worry. I'll cover up the crazy, awkward silence that we've got going on right now while Jay fixes his technical issues. So, Mark, hopefully the coronavirus is over soon so we can get use out of the studio that I'm currently building. That's actually project number one. So we have a little home base. We can get stuff started with that.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back, Jay. Sorry, I'm in the middle of my thing now, so you're gonna have to wait. So as far as like personal, like comic book type goals this year, I know we had spoke about all meeting up, grabbing some comics. I know we were talking about doing the Injustice series. That's going to be a big thing for us this year. So knocking out, how many years are there? 6, 7,
5.
5. Okay, so knocking out all 5 years of the Injustice books. We're gonna get the games going and then give comments, reviews, etc. on those. So I think that's huge. Definitely looking forward to all of the Disney media that we've covered in the 2 episodes ago on all the new stuff, Star Wars and Marvel, etc. And then wasn't super happy with Wonder Woman 84, but whatever. I guess we can start with 2021 and hope that DC gets a little bit better. What about you, Jay? What do you got coming up?
Well, I want to read Absolute Carnage.
Okay.
That's definitely a good start. I'm pretty excited about this Injustice thing, especially because I've been pitching this idea since the start, and we have yet to do it. I know we're just waiting for one Last of Us to finish reading it.
Cough, cough.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. I just started playing Spider-Man on top of the 3 other video games I play on a regular basis, so I'm excited to start getting into that and seeing how that goes.
How you liking it so far? I know you were asking about the map.
It's good. I'm figuring out I'm starting to get all the towers open so I can see the whole land and picking up backpacks.
That's how I started. I started with the towers, the backpacks, and I think that was it. And then I did the main story. And then once I was done those along the way, then I went into some of the other side quests, the Taskmaster stuff and all that.
Yeah, so that's, I have a feeling I'm going to try to take out areas. I'm going to treat it like I treat Assassin's Creed. I'll do like a main story in an area, finish it up, and then go do all the side quests. Just so I have that entire place 100%, and then I move on to the next stage of the main quest.
Yeah, so the Taskmaster things, I believe, again, if I'm not mistaken, if it's similar to the second Spider-Man game, which I just beat, doing Taskmaster quests allows you to get extra like powers and abilities for fighting. So those might be a thing you would want to get into like earlier in the game, because I beat the game, the Miles Morales Spider-Man game, and then I did all of the like Spider-Man tasks because they were just daunting at certain points. I was like, I just don't want to do this. I just kind of want to get through the game. And it had a great story, but after I finished, I was like, oh shit, like I could have got 7 or 8 other powers that I wouldn't have had if I had just done these earlier. But to each his own. You learn. I'm gonna run it through again eventually, and then I'll pass it on to one of you guys. We'll go from there.
Yeah, Steve, how you liking Arkham Knight?
I like it. I know you had previously told me that it's very Batmobile heavy. I agree with that 110%. That's probably the only drawback that I have to it. I mean, the fight style is pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Again, not as agile as Spider-Man, but very similar, where you can sort of parry the attack, dodge, get your, weapons involved, and I kind of like it. Again, they have a couple different games. I know the Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, and something else, correct?
There's Arkham Origins, but that was done by a different developer.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, again, if I can get all those in, and then probably going to jump onto whenever the new God of War comes out. Looking forward to the open world Harry Potter game. Hopefully, get that knocked out this year. We'll see. I mean, I got a lot of video game plans. I want to buy Cyberpunk too. I know I've heard mixed reviews about it,
Good
but
luck.
why not? Good luck. What?
There's dicks everywhere.
I'm cool with that. I have all of the next gen consoles, you nerds. And I'm building a new PC, so.
Yeah, I'm 25% of the way through Fallen Jedi right now. I'm behind the ball and getting that one. I was waiting for price drops. So it is. It's a great game so far. Basically, the mocap that they did for it really adds that realistic kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, I'm right there with you. I plan on getting the rest of the Absolute Carnage series, reading through that, and that's a play that I want to do. All of Injustice, there's the first 5 years that lead into the first game, and I believe there's 2 more years after that with Injustice 2 that lead into the second game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Injustice 2 is good. And then they do Injustice Ground Zero, which goes through Harley Quinn's entire time through it. It just follows her.
Okay.
I'm
totally in for it.
I personally like the fact that throughout the entire first book, there's a whole running joke with her with the mustache.
Oh, the mustache joke is hilarious.
Well, why do you have a tiny mustache? Why don't you have a tiny mustache? And it turns out she keeps like her lock pick in it or whatever to get out of situations, and that's why she has a fake mustache.
There's nothing wrong with that. If I didn't have a real mustache, maybe I'll get a fake mustache with a handcuff key in it.
Well, ain't you fancy?
She also,
but yeah, no.
Also
I'm
comes
hoping...
up with a better name than that. Arrow Cave. God.
I'm in the Arrow Cave. Why don't you call it the Quiver? Damn it, that is a better name.
That is such a better name.
Like, first he agrees with her, and then I think Black Canary comes in and sees them two together and thinks something's going on, and she's like, no, like, he's just hiding me here in the Quiver. And she's like, the Quiver? She's like, yeah, the Arrow Cave is a stupid name, and Black Canary's even like, that is a better name. But no, I mean, for me personally, my big thing for this year is going to be once we're actually in the we were talking about this before the episode. Once we actually can get into the studio and everything's all set up, we do want to eventually bring video to this as well so that you can enjoy our stupid selves with our stupid selves. So,
yes, I promise you, we are as ugly as we sound. So,
maybe even uglier.
Don't talk about Jay like that.
That's just rude.
But yeah, no, I mean, I want to have a productive year, a very super productive year. We're going to sit down. I want to plan out all, kind of keep our things planned a month ahead of time. So if you, the listeners, have any ideas, please contact us on Facebook, email us, send us your ideas. We'll be more than happy to dig in, do our research, and talk about it. We're going to have guests every now and then coming on. We had Adam Nutter. Previously, we'll have a couple other people on throughout the year. And all in all, I mean, I'm having fun doing it. And I really just want to keep growing this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in the same boat with you, man. I think for Mark and I, when we first started the podcast, it was more of a, let's see where this goes. And obviously, we're building a little bit of traction here, and, it's something that we have fun doing. So why not keep up with it and see where it takes us? Whether it's something that we just do as a hobby or, something that gets a little bit more serious. Either way, I'm having a good time. I'm glad we got Jay to come on board with us. It's, 3 heads are better than one. And moving forward, we're probably going to get someone as a researcher and, add to our team progressively as things grow. So obviously we have to scale with our podcast. And, the more the merrier at this point, because you can never have too many people and too many ideas.
No, I 100% agree. So, Jay, how do you feel about The Mandalorian not being slated for 2021 so far?
I'm a little upset because I want some Baby Yoda back in my life after finishing that final episode. But I know we've talked about this before. It's actually, you had a good point about them coming out with the Boba show, that it could be just too much at one time if they actually they kept them out at the same time.
Yeah, and I feel like they did a great job marketing the Boba show, like keeping that until the very, very end of the, like, even after the finale, that was like an end credit scene that they kind of threw out there. So
Yeah.
if they do it the smart way, the way that they built the MCU during the Infinity Saga, I think they could build a Star Wars universe, which is what it seems like they're starting to do. And if they can do that, I think that, honestly, I think Star Wars would work even better than Marvel, because, like, yeah, there's millions of comics, but like that's outer space. Like, there's so much that you can dive into and just make up along the way, along with keeping to the lore like the shows have been doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest draws to The Mandalorian is not only is it its own story, but it accurately ties into different parts of the current Star Wars universe. And I know, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, like they're doing big things with at least the Mandalorian series. And again, if they're going to jump in and help out with the Boba Fett or any of the other live action series, I think that's going to make them just that much better.
Yeah, I mean, especially you figure you're getting Obi-Wan coming soon, you're getting Ahsoka coming soon, you're getting the oh my god, what's the name of the one group of clones?
Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. I wouldn't say Bad Crow, and I'm like, I know it's not Crow, the Bad Batch. So like we're gonna start seeing how the Clone Wars unraveled from a lot of different personalities and a lot of different people, which I think is going to be really interesting. I mean, we've already seen it a little bit. I mean, you've seen, obviously, in the Revenge of the Sith, you see how Yoda goes through it. You see how Obi-Wan goes through it, how Anakin and obviously like Padme go through it. In Clone Wars, you saw Ahsoka's point of view. You saw like so many different things. So now it's kind of be cool to see the not so much non-important, but like the Bad Batch, like they're not a key part to Order 66. So if any of that is in their show, it'd be cool to see like how, think of it like immediate family. How did the like non-immediate family, how did it affect them? So the people that were on all these off worlds when the whole order came down and everything turned, how did they get affected as well, like in the immediacy?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those big things where, again, done correctly, this could be an MCU level, expansion. And Rangers of the New Republic, which could potentially host Cara Dune, and just moving forward with that, like all of these things tied together properly is going to be phenomenal. And for those longtime Star Wars fans, hopefully this is doing justice to the original movies, even the prequels, which everyone thought were bad until they saw the sequels. And, comparatively, there's never going to be the originals. You're never going to redo those. And that's fine. Those were the stepping stones, but now we're going bigger, we're going further. And again, I can't speak highly enough of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. But yeah, those two men are doing wonders for what I was considering like a almost missed opportunity with Disney.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Disney, 13 days to WandaVision.
Yes. So I know I'm excited for that. Jay, any thoughts on WandaVision? I don't know how deeply you've researched that.
I've actually not even researched it at all yet. I saw that it was slated, and then I was planning to look into it somewhat, but haven't gotten the chance yet.
So I mean, dude, just give it a look on YouTube. Just check out the trailers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, whatever they have out there right now will just give you. I mean, I couldn't even say a glimpse because God knows with Marvel if the trailer's even actually going to happen. I mean, obviously it has Wanda and Vision in it, so we know that much is true, but we don't know, Mark and I have speculated before, is it even going to be a real show? Is it just going to be in her mind? Is this the aftermath, the prequel to what was happening, when they were living alone in Europe? We have no idea. And I think that's one of the most exciting parts about it.
Right, and it pays homage to like older sitcoms like I Love Lucy, things from like the 50s. So you're gonna get a bunch of different genres within that show itself. So I think that'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Most definitely.
Along with like we don't even know who the villain is really yet. I don't think they've really shown one in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
I don't think so.
because I know for Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's going to be Baron Zemo for the most part. Would be my assumption, maybe in like underlings here and there, but you have a couple other shows that are going to be coming out on and movies. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see where Marvel kind of goes in the next step. I don't think they're going to recreate what they did with the Infinity Saga, but I'm willing to see where they go and how they try to match the hype that they had behind all that. You had the Eternals coming out where you're eventually, I think, going to get a look at young Thanos. The What If series, I don't know if that's going to be like, do we know if that's going to be like canon to the Marvel universe, or is that just like a little spin-off for like, hey, like, because obviously there are multiple universes in the Marvel.
Sure. So I believe, and again, this is me speculating, it is canon and non-canon because, obviously in the preview, Peggy Carter becomes the Captain America for like Great Britain. So that's non-canon technically, but it is a what if, so it's still within the Marvel universe. But again, I feel like that entire series itself is going to be based on the older comics that we had actually seen in the shop back when we went and checked them out. So like, what if Iron Man was a sellout? What if he followed in his father's footsteps and instead of building the Iron Man suit for himself to do good, he built the Iron Man suit to sell to other countries. And all he cared about was the money and not being the savior. So like the Battle of New York was basically just a bunch of people in Iron Man suits fighting off the space invaders.
Yeah, like the one What If comic that I grabbed was What If the Punisher was a SHIELD agent?
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much he's just the Punisher in the military now. So rather than taking out like drug bosses and like mob bosses, he's going after like terror. He's on like a secret team that takes out like terrorists and shit.
Okay.
So it wasn't
I'm
a bad
about it.
read.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Nick
speaking
Fury are
of-
fighting a bit with each other the whole time because Nick Fury wants him to follow the rules, and he's the fucking Punisher.
Yeah, so he is very against that, but I feel it. I'm about it. Speaking of new series that have come out, I know this isn't technically comic related, but Cobra Kai just dropped yesterday?
I still gotta
And-
start that.
Oh my god, it is so good. Third season's a little campier than the first two seasons, but it's still solid. I'm like 80% of the way through it. And that was just like yesterday. I was like, shit, I need to stop. I can't watch this entire season in one day. What kind of person am I?
That's my issue. I watch every single episode and I'm like, oh, now I gotta wait a year.
And that's my exact issue. I'm like, shit, how do I stretch this out over the next 365 days? Maybe they'll release another season later this year. But I did recently start Jessica Jones, which ties in with Luke Cage, which ties in with Iron Fist and
Daredevil.
Yeah, like all of those shows. So I've opened the proverbial Pandora's box of Netflix series just to keep myself busy in the meantime, because there's multiple seasons of these shows and I've avoided watching them for so long, so that when something like this did happen, I had a bunch of shit to watch.
I followed all of them. I finished all of them up until the Defenders, and then I saw what a shit show that show was. So
Yeah, is that like a
kind of gave up.
team up show?
Yeah, so the Defenders is Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. The first season of Jessica Jones is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
But Yeah, I know that have read multiple things saying that John Bernthal's Punisher should be coming to the MCU, along with I forget the actor's name that plays him, but from the Netflix show Daredevil, the guy that plays Matt Murdock, he's supposed to be coming in the MCU as well. So I'm not sure where they're going to tie that, which storylines they're going to tie them into. But hey, I'm always happy to see a John Bernthal Punisher. That show was phenomenal both seasons.
Absolutely.
Maybe they can finally fix that movie that was just terrible.
You talk about the one with John Travolta as the villain.
Yes.
Well,
I can't believe we forgot to actually mention that in our episode of all the comic movies we hated.
honestly, I don't even think that's touched by any of the shitty movies that we mentioned.
I don't know. That's pretty bad. That one's pretty bad.
Oh no, I
it's
don't
not
disagree.
Green Lantern bad, but it's still bad.
See, John Travolta was like a campy villain, but as far as telling the story of the Punisher and building him up, I didn't think it was as bad. Plus, I think Kevin Nash is in that movie.
He is. He gets a pot of boiling water thrown at his face and kicked down a flight of steps.
Yeah, he's the one that shows up at their apartment
he's
and gets
Russian.
the shit beat out of him, right?
He gets a pot of water thrown in his face. And he survives it. It's actually kind of impressive. He's got a will to live.
I'll say I don't think it's necessarily an issue surviving that. It's more like
he was awake through it.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, man. Listen, I'm not saying it's fun. I just know that it's survivable. I mean, Christ, I had facial reconstructive surgery. Like, it could be worse. So, survivability pretty high, but you're never going to be the same person again. Especially not like looks wise, because you just got your face scalded.
He died anyway afterwards. He got killed immediately afterwards. But
good for him on taking that to the face, though.
Yeah.
To the face.
Took it like a champ.
So, Jay, you've been fairly quiet. Give me, besides Absolute Carnage, give me like even just a single comic book. I want a comic book, a TV show, and a video game that you're looking forward to in 2021. And fuck, throw a movie in there. Why not?
Open field. Doesn't have to be comic related.
Video game. I don't know. I don't have any new ones I'm really excited about yet because I don't know any. I don't know really what's coming out. Like I've been excited because I've been just playing a lot of Assassin's Creed lately. I'm having fun playing. Had fun with like the 2-3 hours I put into Spider-Man yesterday.
Did you? I'm guessing you dropped that off to him, Mark.
Yeah, he dropped it off this week. I finally put it on the PlayStation and started playing yesterday.
So good.
Yeah.
The swing dynamics are phenomenal. All right. Jay, we're getting off topic. Go ahead. Give me a movie, TV show, and a comic book. Give me something.
TV show. I'm excited for What If because I like that whole premise of that. Of what if like small change happened. Because God, what was it? What was the Joker singing? Killing Joke. One bad day.
Everybody, the whole point of the Joker's philosophy in that is that he understands that he's insane, but he can't believe how other people can admit that they are. So his thing is everybody is one bad day away from becoming exactly what he is. So that was his whole point. Because you're all right. That's what he says. He says all it takes is one bad day.
That's it. One bad day.
Because he even says to Batman, he says, he said, what happened? He said, was your wife killed by the mob? Parents killed in a car accident. What was it? Something had to have happened for you to dress up like a fucking bat. Well, go on.
All right. Then.
And you're muted again. You got to get a better mic, bud.
Am I still muted?
No, not anymore.
Oh, okay. I think you just talk louder than me. And then comic.
I mean, while Jay's looking up some things, I mean, for me personally, I really want to dive deeper into some Flash comics. Most of the DC ones that I have are followed predominantly like either the Justice League as a whole or Batman in particular, or like honestly, I probably have more comics about the villains than I do about the heroes, in all honesty. Which actually, Steve, if you haven't gotten a chance to it yet, I think you still have my Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one. You could bang out in a day, and it's just crazy how much shit he does in that storyline. But game wise, I'm excited for the new God of War, which I think is supposed to come out in March or April-ish. I think it's slated for the spring. So I'll have to find a PS5, and then I'm hyped for that. But as far as movies go, I'm really excited for the 4-part Justice League movie coming out. I know people have mixed feelings about that, and I feel like the fact that it's 4 1-hour episodes, I feel like that gives them a lot to work with and a lot to do with what they want to do. And I know they've taken a lot of Joss Whedon's parts out of Justice League, and everyone's worried, and they're like, oh, well, Henry Cavill never came back for reshoots. And it's like, I don't think he had to. Like, a lot of people didn't come back for any reshoots, but I do know there's been a lot of talk about if this takes off, Ben Affleck finally getting to direct his Batman vs. Deathstroke movie, which I would love. I'm going to botch his name. Lou Manganiello plays plays Deathstroke, and then Ben
I thought it was
Affleck.
Joe.
Is it Joe?
I'm
Joe
pretty sure it's Joe.
Manganiello?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I
it's
know
Joe.
who I'm talking about. Yeah, Joe Manganiello, and then Ben Affleck, who both are great actors. I would love to see what they could do, because this whole storyline that Ben pitched to WB was like, at this point in the story, Deathstroke knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. He knows about the Robin family. Like, he knows all that. So he's basically just going to be picking apart Batman's life, like Bruce Wayne's life, to take down Batman. And that's something I would really, really like to see what angles they take, which ways they take, and all that.
Yeah, I'm all about that. So Jay, I think you got cut off at your comic. So where are we at now?
I've been looking for comics, and I think I want to check out Robin Wars. It sounds interesting. It's obviously it's based in Gotham, and a bunch of young vigilantes all go by the name Robin, and they just kind of are dealing with life from what I can read. What the hell's going on?
The Secret Wars for Marvel is a good storyline to go through too.
Yeah, I'm definitely we have to get into Secret Wars. I think that's also going to be another series as well, isn't it?
I think that one's a movie.
Okay.
I think
about it.
I could be wrong, but it's definitely coming. They haven't given much information. I want to say it's a movie though.
Well, while Jay is doing his in-podcast research, a comic series I'm looking forward to this year, I'm probably going to do the speed metal and death metal series from DC. I'm going to start with speed metal, obviously, because I'm a huge Flash fan. Go from there. And then I know it's not technically the first in the series, but I'm going to read that first and then just kind of dive in. I'll end up buying them all and just passing them on to you guys when I finish up with them.
Does that fall in the Dark Knight Metal series?
I think so. I think they're similar to like Absolute Carnage. There's like a million spin-off books that go along with it. I have the speed metal one, and obviously Speed for the Flash. So, and then I think I picked up one or two other ones that while Mark and I were at the comic book store the other month or two ago. I have no concept of what time is anymore.
Yeah, I think that's like September.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 2 months ago, something like that. I don't fucking know.
A couple of years ago, back in '91.
Yeah, I remember those days. It was good times. Video game wise, I am definitely looking forward to God of War and the Harry Potter open world game. Like, huge Harry Potter fan. God of War I've been playing since the original one came out for PS2. And I've played every single game that's came out that has been a God of War, I guess canon storyline. And movies, God damn, that's a good question. I want Spider-Man 3 to be amazing, so I want to see that. And then the Multiverse of Madness, I'm looking forward to that as well. As far as TV series goes, most of the Star Wars stuff that's coming out, I'm looking forward to, as well as I'm gonna have to go with the What If as well. Just big into the non-normal storylines, I guess that would be the easiest way to put it, that Marvel's gonna put out. Like, I want to know what happens when, you know, Nick Fury is evil, or, you know, Iron Man's a sellout, or, you know, the Punisher's part of Shield, or, you know, Peggy Carter becomes the super soldier. Like, I want to know what those storylines
The
are.
zombie verse.
Just because the zombies, like, I want to know because it's different. It's something that we know. They took what we already know and love and made it a little bit better, or they made it a little bit different. And it, you know, it's the butterfly effect. You change one small thing and the entire rest of the MCU changes with it. So I think there was one where it was Christ, who the hell was it? T'Challa was another hero. Like, he was a different hero. Instead, he got adopted by Christ, who the hell was it? It was in the preview. Regardless, he wasn't Black Panther anymore. He was like found and brought into a different, you know, world, and then he became a different hero, which I thought was cool. Different concept. I look forward to that. Again, the comics are great, so I can only imagine what they're going to do with the animated series. All right, Jay, you started it. Let's finish out strong. Yeah, I know. You got that look on your face like a deer in headlights. Give me something, anything. Video game.
I gave you all of them that you
Did you?
wanted.
All right.
Yes.
Sorry, you just did it in such a manner that I couldn't actually pay attention for longer than 5 seconds.
Wow. All right.
I love
Thanks.
you, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're the worst human
I'm just-
possible.
It's debatable. I'm not going to bring politics into this. But I did. I'm excited for a lot of the things that we're going to be doing in 2021. We're going to try to continue with our weekly updates. Obviously, this is going to be our first episode of the new year, besides the brief, you know, happy holidays message that we gave to everybody. So every Thursday, please give us a listen. And we'll obviously keep you guys posted, whether it's going to be, you know, if any of the dates are changing or a day of the week. Hopefully we can possibly record more, you know, even if we do an in-person and a Zoom call, maybe get 2 episodes a week, if that's a feasible proposition, and go from there. You know, like I said before, I really enjoyed doing this. I love working with you guys. So, you know, Jay, what do you got for me?
I got nothing else to add to this situation.
All right, Mark.
One thing I did want to say though is, like you said, Steve, I really am enjoying working with you guys, whether it's, you know, just doing this for shits and gigs or whatever. But I just want to take a quick minute just to shout out to our listeners. And that we're few and far right now, and we're looking to grow. But to those in the U.S., the couple in Ireland, the couple up in Canada, like, we really are grateful you guys are taking time out of your day to listen to us just bullshit about some of our favorite topics and everything there.
Yes, I want to piggyback that. Thank you to everybody for listening to us. You know, we put our heart and soul into this. So whether you're listening because you want to, or you're listening because Jay held you at gunpoint and is making you listen to this, we really
Wait, why
appreciate it.
Jay?
Well, because you're the least likely of us to actually do that. Right? I don't know. All right, maybe not. Maybe Jay's a sociopath. Who knows? But yes, seriously, from the US to Canada to Ireland to possibly expanding in the future, we love all of our listeners. Thank you. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, probably not your cat, because they won't listen anyway. But seriously, spread the word. We would love more listeners in 2021. Check us out on Facebook at Something Super Podcast. We have a group and a page. Page will probably be getting absolved into the group soon. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, somethingsuperpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all major streaming platforms. And thank you, Anchor, for hosting us. My name's Steve, and we'll catch up with
Mark.
you next week.
Now I'm Jay.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Thursday.